Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where we review anything and everything. And today we are getting into this chess set by Lingle, wooden chess set. So link's going to be in the description for you guys to purchase this on Amazon. It's not a very expensive set. It runs for roughly about $16, $17. There were a lot of great reviews on it. So we're going to open this up and see if the reviews match what we think of it here. I was looking at a couple of different chess sets, but I wanted something that was pretty affordable because a friend of mine wanted to actually get into chess. I haven't played chess in a long time. I used to always have a chess set in the house. We used to have multiple chess sets in the house growing up. And from the electronic ones to the regular wooden, foldable box ones for travel, which I think are more, for the most part, your standard ones, not including your basic. I think it's a Parker Brothers kind of board game type of setup one where it's a non-foldable board and like a box that looks similar to like a Scrabble box. Or something like that. There's that generic type, which is nothing wrong with that. You got the foldable type, which is like this type of wooden box that folds in half and it holds the pieces in the inside. And I feel that's almost like your standard that you see most people have. Then you have your electronic ones where someone wants to play themselves, play the computer, whatever the case is, playing by themselves, I meant, or playing with others. And I've had that in the house as well. But also I've even had a glass premium one that I bought for a family member years back because they're really into chess and it was really nice, very nice glass setup, whatever. But since that time, I don't have a chess set on hand. So I decided to purchase this and to also teach a friend how to learn and get into chess. So with that being said, this is the brand. Like I said, so it is pretty much a basic set to kind of really get into. That was like the purpose behind jumping into it. Nothing that's over the top. Like I said, a nice basic starter set. So it's nothing over the top, but I think it should be nice. 15-inch inlay folding board. It has an inch and a half, 1.5-inch squares, and 3-inch king chess piece. What's funny is that I've seen a few things that would advertise that, and I don't know if that's considered like a premium feature to have the king piece to be really big. That I don't know. I have seen a couple of sets online that would advertise about having 2 additional queens. So that way, if you wanted to, you get your pawn to the other side and you say queen me. Is that how they say it? I don't know anymore. What the terms were back in the days, but where you get to get a second queen. By most of the time, most people by that time in the game, they already lost their first queen, so you never really got a second one. But I guess in theory, you should be able to get a second one. So a lot of boards were accommodating that. But one board I was looking at didn't have a lot of reviews, and I realized you had to watch out for some cheap sets that weren't as good for long-term quality, even though you're not spending an arm and a leg anyway. But with that being said, this set I don't think came with that extra, even though it was around the same price as other ones that did come with those extras. But this one had a lot of good reviews, so I felt like the quality of it would be better. I'd rather have a chess set that is better in quality than has more extra features, but at the same time is going to start breaking down on me later on with pieces chipping off and falling off and things that set. Those the basic rules. Definitely something that I'm going to run through because I actually have not gone through the rules of chess ever. I've only gone through what people have told me. And though you can learn like that, but sometimes people introduce their own house rules. One rule that I learned later on, which I didn't know about, is this rule actually right here, casting, which, to be honest with you, like I said, I just didn't know about it the first time I started playing chess until someone did it on me and I thought that they were cheating. Now, granted, this was many years back when I was a very, very young little kid. But the point is nonetheless the same. It's good to know all the rules so you don't have that sneaking up on you later. We're going to open this up. Opens up like a briefcase type. Now, this one here, which is kind of nice, is it actually has the inlays. Now, one issue that a person might see as a negative is the fact that you can't put it away just super easy like your typical design type will just have this as an open just box area where you just throw the pieces in. You know, they're all fumbling all around each other, and it's no big deal. Now, most sets are like that, that are like that, open up like this, that have a containment system, whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. You are going to beat up your pieces a little bit, but they're not going to break. And depending on the way that they are, the quality of them, they're not going to scratch or anything like that necessarily. You aren't going to notice it. You know, a lot of them usually have like a shine over them. This one doesn't really, but some of them used to have like a kind of gloss material over them. So they really had like a, you knew that they could resist being hit around, and they would kind of wear into their permanent look over time, that they were going to look like, you know, 10 years down the line, which is fine. These do not have a glossy look to them. It's more of a matte look, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's definitely different than what I've used to seeing. You've got a couple of special features there where, and these, from looking at them, you could tell they're glued on. So I hope that won't be something that comes to be a problem later on down the line. But for example, this piece here is glued on. You see a little bit of the glue markings. Not a big deal for someone playing chess, but you know, understand like this is the level of it. So I think these pieces look nice. They're better than plastic pieces. So wooden pieces, just to give a little bit of context, when you buy those board game type of ones, the ones that I said is in a similar box to like a Scrabble box, they're probably made by Parker Brothers. They're probably like $10 or something like that. Generally speaking, the pieces are plastic, so it really doesn't matter. They come with a flat board and they come with a box. I think the board does fold. I can't remember if it does or if the box is just a big box like this, full square size, and it doesn't fold. I don't remember. But nonetheless, the pieces are plastic. It works completely fine, obviously, but wood is always a little bit more premium, and the wood folding case is always a little bit more premium. Now, obviously, the next level up from this is premium wood sets along with glass sets, but nonetheless, this becomes almost your standard, like not super low on the bottom, but not super high. And I say that to say, for this level and what you pay for, roughly about that $15 to $20 range, you know, you're this is definitely okay for that price range, even though you could see here that you're getting the little bit of glue, but it definitely is a different design than what most of them will have, because they won't have something like that where you have this kind of mixed, you know, chocolate and vanilla accent pieces going on. Normally the horses have more of a dimensional look. This is very flat, but like I said, it's definitely different and unique than to what you're used to seeing. So I think that kind of makes it feel, you know, unique in itself. You have here, I forget the name of all these pieces. I want to say that this is the rook, but it's been so many years since I've actually played chess. So mind you, if I forget anything in the names, I'm sorry about that. I believe this is called the rook, or you could call it the castle. I'm making that up right now. No one ever called it the castle before, but here's the bishop. You can see him. It's just very smooth. There's no there's no glue on this one, because there's no additional pieces that had to be glued on, even though obviously the horse, I don't know if you guys noticed, but that has glue on it because it's two pieces glued together. Um, as I said, now the rook, and that one doesn't have any kind of glue on it either, so it's just a solid piece. And so for the most part, this is how it's looking. I'm not going to set up the entire thing, but what I am going to do is take a couple of these pieces, and then here you have the felt material on the bottom, make it glide across smoothly. Now, a couple of sets within the same price range would advertise not only are they wood, but would have magnets. And that's something also to consider too. Like I said, there were some that had a lot of premium, that had, I'm sorry, not premium, that had a lot of features on them. But features, now that they're becoming the standard, which that was never the case. You never had wooden boards that had, um, you never had wooden boards that had, let me grab a couple of the white pieces out just to kind of give it that contrast. And we didn't take a look at the queen, so you can see how the queen looks. Forgot about that. So that has some glue also with the additional piece. But I don't mind it because, like I said, these are unique in the way that I've never really seen chess pieces really do that before. At least not on this level of a set. Have little differences and distinguishing marks, swapping a little bit of the chocolate and vanilla across the board. Now, I think this looks nice. I think it's a nice chess setup. I think the board, when it's put together like this, feels very nice. There's something about the edges are very smooth. That is very nice right here. You can see how that is because it's like two parts and it feels very smooth. So it's not like a rough side surface. It feels nice. It's actually very nice, actually. You know what I'm going to do? And I'm sorry, this is going to make the video get a little long. I am going to take all the pieces out and I'm going to set them up. And while I do that, I'm just going to speak on the fact that, like I said, the this set here, it doesn't have all the extra little features like I was mentioning that some of the other sets have, but then it becomes this balance of, so now apparently from the research I've done on Amazon when I was looking to buy a set, is that the standard now of features is, especially for the wooden ones I'm seeing, is the magnetic base, even though it's on wood, which means they're putting some kind of metal piece inside the pieces, the chess pieces, which is something that they never used to do back in the day. So this back in the days just had a nice wooden set was your gold standard for a decent premium set above plastic. Was just having a wood set and that was it. It didn't have to be a $50 set. It could be a $20 set, but it had wood and that was like your basic standard premium. Now you have features like a double queen. You have features like the magnetic base, and they stick to the board, which is great. But what I'm noticing is that when you have those features in a set that is also $15 to $20, and then you have a set like this that is within that $15 to $20 range, but the difference is this set here doesn't have those features. What I take away from that is that the and then make sure all the pieces are set up correctly because of course I might end up having things wrong. I don't even remember how everything's set up correctly. So don't mind that if I don't set everything up correctly because I am completely off right now in terms of I haven't played chess in a long time, as I mentioned. But with that being said, um, going back to what I was just mentioning about the features and whatnot. Sorry, I'm distracting myself by putting the pieces down. I am losing my train of thought. But the quality the quality of a set that has all those extra features like double queens, that has the features of I think the king of that color goes on it's one, I don't know. But I'm sorry once again, getting myself all distracted with the pieces. Let me finish my thought before I put these pieces down. So the quality of a set that has um the same price range, but is has the double queens, has the magnetic inlay into the pieces and on the boards, has to come from somewhere, has to detract from something. So that means if you're getting those features, you're probably losing quality on things like maybe the quality of the board or the quality of the pieces. Now, and I definitely could say, looking at this set here, the pieces are definitely quality. Now, a wood set is a wood set regardless. So I don't think these necessarily are more premium than other wood pieces necessarily. They do have a unique style to them. They don't have the castle like head on the top of the rook, and things of that sort. But what I will say is that it's still unique in the way it is, very smooth in terms of the design of a lot of these. it's the bare bone basics in terms of the features that they're giving you. But in addition to that, the board is very smooth. And I think that that's where, the pieces are always going to be probably, I don't think that the quality of the board, a lot of people think of the pieces more so than they think of the board and not realize that the board is probably where more of the money goes into than it does the pieces. And with that being said, having a quality board, so having this one, it's higher up. It feels very nice on the edges because it's smooth. You have that dual. I don't know the wording to call it. I don't want to call it. Obviously, it's not dual molded because this is wood, but it's like dual layered where you have that smooth lighter wood and then the darker finished wood, and then you can also see here where the lighting is hitting on this side. You can't see it on this side because of the way the lighting is, but you can see the grains of the wood, and it just looks really nice. And so I think that goes for something when it comes to you start speaking on that level of $15 to $20 price range. Where quality is going to shift is in the fact of these new features that most people probably not used to having, and they might get wowed by those new features versus versus actually having a quality set. And I think that that's important to kind of really, realize. Now, I know that the video ran on pretty long. Don't mind. That is how all my videos get. I like to ramble about stuff, but that's just really something to consider when you're thinking about purchasing the set. I'm going to put a link in the description for you to purchase the set, but also to take a look at if you see any of the other sets on Amazon that have those other extra features. Obviously, always look on when you're shopping in a place like Amazon, look at the reviews to see how many reviews something has. But I definitely would say this one right here had, I want to say, was something in the 1,300 reviews. I just checked to confirm is in that 1,300 and some change reviews. So definitely with like about 4.5 stars. So definitely this is one that's definitely worth checking out. It means that it will last long because there's a lot of good positive reviews on it. And if you are interested in chess, pick this one up or pick up anyone for that matter. You guys, as always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one.